And finally, for this session, we've got the wonderful Ehab Etman on integrating AI and VR for enhanced safety training in construction.
Hi. Today I'm gonna give you a brief about the construction industry and in particular safety in construction. And we know that construction industry is one of the largest industry in the world. Although it's one of the largest industry and most important industries, actually it's one of the most dangerous industries. And it's widely known that construction is dangerous, which is like a bad reputation. So my name is Ehab, and I will talk with you about how we can use and adapt new technologies in training construction workers. So 4,800, that's the number of fatal accidents that happen in only 1 year in the US in the construction industries. And these fatal accidents were caused 80%, more than 80% research has shown, not by like natural disasters or not by machine failures. It's actually caused by us, by human errors and human failures. So it could be avoided, it should have been avoided. So 4,800 is like 13 deaths per day, to put it into perspective. And that's like one death every 2 hours. And of course, if we add the number of accidents that were not fatal, like just injuries, this number goes like 10 times more. So looking at the consequences of these accidents, it's like there's an iceberg effect, because you think that these accidents, when you have millions of workers and only 4,800 dies, that's a small number. Actually, it's much bigger than that, because each accident affects the projects in all other aspects other than the medical fees or the legal issues caused by the accidents. There are a lot of other aspects like time delays, finding a substitution for the workers, and the biggest consequences of all, the reputational damage on the construction industry and the companies. So it's said that for every $1 of direct cost caused by the accidents in the construction industry, there is a $10 indirect cost hidden underneath this iceberg effect. So why this problem is remained over the years or decades since the Industrial Revolution in the construction? It's actually because the construction industry is one of the industries that always a bit lagged when adapting new technologies and new methods in the industry overall and in safety training in particular. So we can see that new technologies are being used in manufacturing and transportation and warehousing, a lot of industries, but always construction is lagging behind. And that is actually we're trying to change it for the past decade, but we are still behind. So looking into the safety trainings in particular, over the years we started by document-based training, where you give the workers some documents that they read about the regulation, about the training. And of course, this is not very interactive. It's a passive method of learning. Then we developed on-site training with the conventional method. And personally, I think this method is the best one, because it's the most interactive. You actually train in the real site about what you're going to do. But it has a lot of disadvantages, because most of the times the construction site is not accessible for the training. If we keep doing the training on the actual site, we get a lot of time delays for finishing the actual project. So we need another alternative to that. We also use sometimes video trainings, but it's also passive learning, not an active learning. So then over the years, they will produce the VR simulations, which has been used in the other industries like the aviation for years. Now it started being used in construction training. So VR simulation is good because it's a bit interactive, but it's not fully interactive because if the training or the simulation is already been pre-programmed, the users can't interact with the physics of the environment inside the simulation. So then it comes the last method was the revolution of AI in the past couple of years, where we can do actually an interactive simulations where the workers can train on a simulation of the actual site with it being interactive with them like the actual construction site. So that would be the closest one to the conventional site training. So, and we can add also AI can be used not just in that training for the construction workers, it can be used in safety and the construction site overall. And like Kennedy discussed, that we can use predictive methods to, from the data. We know that this type of projects usually have accidents on this particular area, so we can prevent them from happening by predicting them, or the AI will be predicting them based on the data. We can do personal coaching by tracking a personal profile for each worker or each engineer. So we know, or the systems will know that this type of person makes a particular mistakes. They don't wear their personal equipment correctly. This sort of things. So we can give them, or the systems can give them actual personal feedback. Also, we can use computer visions or drones to be scanning the construction site to detect any hazards, to give warnings about any accidents before they happen. They also can be used to update the digital twin of the BIM model that Ravi was talking about. And we can use that in training the construction workers in an interactive simulation that's based on the actual construction site. Yeah, and also, I'll take this opportunity to make a clear clarification about virtual reality is different from augmented reality, is different from mixed reality. So I will explain that using this guy I created with AI yesterday. Which one of this is virtual reality is actually the one in the middle, which takes you in a new simulation, a new world that's different from the world that you're living at. And augmented reality is actually you are seeing your actual environment, but you add another layers, like Iron Man. You add another layers to it. Like you can see, he's wearing regular glasses, like Meta Ray-Ban or Microsoft HoloLens. They add elements to your existing environment. And there's also in the past 5 years, there has been mixed reality, which is actually represents taking a live video and streaming it into your VR and adding elements to it. So it's a mix of both. So how can we use AI in the actual simulation to make it more interactive? There are a lot of areas can be done in that, and the hardware and software is not yet evolved to this stage, but it's getting there because of the cost of the virtual reality glasses are very high. With the reduction of the cost will cause more software developers and hardware developers to be able to achieve these things like eye tracking that we saw in the Meta Vision Pro, Apple Vision Pro, that we can track the eye movements of the workers inside the training, so we can know what are they looking at. Are they looking at the right spots? Are they detecting the hazards while they are in the training? We also can judge their reaction time and their decision making that they are doing, and all of that also will be stored on their personal profile, so we can give them actual personal feedback in the future. We can track their body gestures or hand movement, and are they making the correct hand movement or body gestures, and give them a feedback instantaneously when they make mistakes. Of course, that would be easier to do on a large scale of workers, because if you assign a construction or a safety manager to give feedback to all of the workers. That would be very challenging and very, very difficult. So yeah, and we also, I mentioned that it has been used, virtual simulation has been used in the other industries like the aviation industry. It's also being used in the health and medical field to train surgeons, and it more and more being used in the marketing and retail, where like companies like Nike can make you try to test new products and maybe can try help design the product by yourself and they make it or manufacture it for you. Also in the gaming industry is being used. So it's already being used in other industries, so we can use it in the construction. So back to my research question. What I'm trying to achieve or trying to answer is how realistic should the simulation be for the workers so they can have the skill that they are trying to learn. Can we make, because of course cost is an important factor, especially when it comes to construction industry. So, and making a very, very high fidelity realistic simulation would be effective, especially if we are gonna do it on a big scale for training all the construction workers. So would it be enough for us to only make a low fidelity simulation where the worker can just see the blocks of the things that we will be dealing with, other than very high quality one? Would that be enough, or is there be a difference in the skill acquisition if they train in a realistic environment? So yeah, so that's it. And there is a very famous diagram that we use in safety management, especially in construction, which is called the hierarchy of controls, and which basically says that using the personal equipment or depending on the behaviors of the workers is actually the last step, or like the least effective method that we use. Actually, we use more as a construction manager and project managers use more effective methods like the elimination of a dangerous task, substitution of the task, things like that. But actually, if the construction workers are well trained, they can behave correctly to eliminate by themselves these tasks. For example, if a construction worker needs to move some objects from point A to point B, and there's like a crane that's going on top, and there's it's a dangerous path to go this way. If he is well trained, he will identify that and know that, and he will substitute this path with another one, which will be, of course, safer in the long run. So yeah, that was it. Any questions? Okay. Yeah, do we have time?
Yeah, you got time.
If I have
Still
time,
got 3 minutes.
I would like to make a quick demo with someone, but if someone has questions first, we can answer that.
All right, so I do have one question. I've possibly got it wrong, but when you first started, I had the impression that this was a technology that could be used for training that was tailored on individual work sites. Is that correct?
Yes.
Oh, really? So does that raise another question then? Does that mean that you have to just totally reconfigure the whole system for each individual work site?
Yeah. Well, at first, the first step would be to try to regulate these methods, because of course there's laws that you need to take specific trainings before you go do specific tasks. So we have to regulate this type of methods so we can have the data that we can use to train the workers. So yeah, that's a step, but it's not the first step. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. All right.
Oh, okay, thank you. Yeah. Is there anyone else have any questions?
None?
Come on, this is a great one. Sorry.
Yeah. Thanks. Your research is quite intriguing, and I think there's a lot of similarities, and I'll be open for collaboration. what really got me passionately relating to your research is how relevant it is, especially to the young generation. Looking at an event here in Australia where we lost a very young person just because of safety, in the construction industry. This is very relatable, and they are very tech savvy. So I think there will be a lot of engagement, and there will be a lot of positive intakes, and it's a real game changer in terms of improving safety. So yeah, that's kudos, man.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you.
Any other quick questions before we move to the demonstration?
Thank you. That sounded really interesting. Right at the end, you talked a little bit about regulation. So were you talking about things like white card and blue card to access?
Yeah.
So you would use the training to specifically get those white cards and blue cards? Is that what you're looking at?
Yes, exactly. Because,
Okay.
for example, the white card training, the workers, it's also a passive learning. They don't. The workers just sit there and see the session from an experienced construction worker or a senior in the field, or they can actually be done online now.
Yeah.
So the thing is, we can try to add these methods to these kind of trainings to make them more interactive, because using active training methods will actually make them learn from their mistakes, and learn from their mistakes and actually gain personal info about what they did wrong, and they can correct it or prevent it from happening in the future. Thank you.
Oh, fantastic. Now I understand we
right,
need a volunteer.
I asked for a volunteer, some young guy here. How's it going? Ed, right?
I'm on there.
Let's see. Hi, my friend. How's it going? Okay, look. What I'm going to do now is actually, I blended here. Okay. We will. Yes.
I should say this.
Yes, we will.
We will improvise.
Improvise, exactly. Yeah. So you told me that you have like a used VR before?
No.
Right. All right. So can we try to wear that? Don't be afraid. Try to fit it. And this was work. It's working.
No.
What about now?
It's turned on, but nothing's. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And you can use your finger to act this trigger. Yes. Do you see? Can I turn that off?
Yeah.
Do you see like a camera icon, an application icon?
Yep.
Can you press it? And you see a camera icon?
Yeah, no, there's the camera.
Yeah, press it and press cast.
Cast, yep.
Yes.
It's not connected to the internet.
Oh, not connected to the internet.
No.
So, a bit of
Let me just try to connect to
I'll
wireless.
do. Bit of technical issue, but we'll figure it out. 1 second. Good thing we have time. Got it now. You can use that. You fit well? You're comfortable?
Yep.
There you go. Yeah, press the cast button.
Yep.
Got it?
Mobile web.
Web.
Web. You are now casting.
Thank you. Oh, there we go. So, yeah, what we see now here is actually the mixed realities that I was talking about. He is seeing the environment around him, but that's not actually the actual environment. It's being seen by the cameras, and they are streaming it inside the VR, which is streaming to the laptop, which is to the screen, so we're good to go. So,
Which one should I play?
You want to play a game? We're actually totally improvising. But I thought we can go to the apps icon.
Where?
Yeah,
Here.
at the bottom.
The other one.
Sure. No, we should close that and press button here. Yeah. You found an apps icon. You're right, right, bottom right. Yeah.
Library.
Library. Yeah.
Yep.
And you can go to the question mark on the left. Question mark on the left, yeah. Left, bottom, yeah. And you can pick anatomy, human anatomy VR. Yeah, that one. Because he told me that he is doing what your chemical biology, right? So maybe I thought that might be relevant to you. Actually, I'm doing that as a prototype because I'll be doing that with construction workers. So. Yeah. That app I used, maybe it's very useful for medical students because they can see the human anatomy in front of their face and they can interact with it, move the veins or the bones, and they can maybe shuffle them and restore them inside the body. So where you go? You can see anything?
Yep. Can I start? Tutorial start.
Oh, we can see it.
I'm in the lobby.
Oh, really? You can see it. Start? Not tutorial, maybe start the training.
So there is a human skeleton in front of me.
Oh, that's a technical issue.
So am I not casting?
Yeah, we can see it, unfortunately. Well, sorry, can you press that one? And check the casting icon again, the camera icon. Sorry, I'm taking too much time, right? Well, we can figure it. I can figure it out, and after the break, if we have some time, we can redo it again. Yeah.
What I suggest is...
Can we try?
Wait, now it's...
Try again.
Now it's casting?
Yeah, try again. Try again. Go open the anatomy app. Yes, there we go. Hey, yay. So you can maybe try to add elements to that because you can see on the left, yeah, you can see that you're showing the skeleton. You can maybe show the veins. Oh, left. Maybe you can show the veins, and actually you can move the body itself. You can move it further away using the controls here, or turn it around using the controls here. Yeah. Maybe you can show the. What I like to do is to wow. So we can already see that this would be very useful to a medical student. He can be interacting with the anatomy of the body, not just reading it in a book. That's an active method of learning. And as I said, you can maybe take like a muscle. You choose muscles, okay?
Well,
You're having fun. You can choose maybe the body. Choose like one muscle of the body.
There's always a bun fight for
Yeah,
office
and
space
maybe
here
you
on the Gold
click
Coast
on it,
campus.
click
I've just
on it using
found a
the
new
trigger.
use for the 10th floor.
Yes, you can click on a muscle using the trigger and drag it out. Yeah, that's it. And you can see it in front of you. And actually, you can eliminate the controls and interact with it with your hand. Move it with your hand and enlarge it and scale it and zoom. And maybe you can take multiple ones of them out and try to put them back in their right place. So yeah, that was my quick demo.
Oh, that's
Next year we should.
fantastic.
We will continue after.